Are you ready for a bunch of cards with double and triple the stenciling fun? Layered stencils make easy, colorful cards as I share in this video. Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Hashik and I recently discovered many layering stencils from different companies and I'm sharing how to use them in this video. Pinkfresh Studio has many layered stencils, and since I love to make slimline cards, I couldn't resist this slimline layered Starburst set. So you get 3 stencils, and then you can do them in all different colors, and just look at the fun look that you get when you use it. In this case I did pinks and reds and made a Thinking of You slimline card. And this one I did it in just 3 different colors, but many of them combined. And then I did, I used stitched slimline dies to start it there, raise it up a little bit and raise it up a little bit for that cool look. Now all the details on all these cards of course will be on my blog, and links are in the description box to the blog post as well as the products that I'm featuring. This Sweet Leaves frame stencil set plus the matching die from Pinkfresh reminded me of Scandinavian folk art. And since I am Norwegian, I couldn't resist it. I did this one in the blues and reds that many Scandinavian folk art pictures are, and I even put the word skål, which means cheers, in a Norwegian. But of course any color combination is pretty. In this case I did yellows and pinks and added another stencil on the inside of that. And then this is just a monochromatic one in blues. So again, these layered stencils make very easy but very colorful, fun cards. One of my absolute favorite of my new layering stencils is this Tailored Expressions Triple Slim Layering Stencil. It is called In the Garden. Now Tailored Expressions has created these layering stencils that you can make 3 to 4 cards depending on what size. The A2 ones you make 4 cards, and this is the mini slim size, so you get 3 cards out of each one and each set, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But first let me show you 3 cards that I created with this. In this case I used reds and yellows and purples and greens and made it nice and bright and colorful, and I die cut them out after I was done stenciling with a die from Cat Scrappiness that just adds a little bit of interest around the edge there. So each one of these you get 3 cards. This is the second one. And so again, beautiful flowers, and then this is the third one. So these are designed to give you 3 to 4 cards every time you use them, and each one is different but yet easy to make. So let me show you. I'm going to do them in some colors that I've chosen. I'm going to start with the green, and these have been just designed just very brilliantly. Okay, so first you cut a piece of cardstock 5.75 by 9.75 or 9 3/4, and when you're done you're going to cut it into thirds. You attach the stencil to that piece of cardstock. I have marked my corners. There are etched lines there, but I have a hard time seeing them, so I put some black permanent marker in each of the corners, and you use that to line up the paper. And then you also on the sides of all of them there's this little square, so you draw that square on your extra paper that you're working on, and then the second and third and fourth ones will be lined up with the corners and with those squares. So very easy to line these up, and also again frankly it's a brilliant idea. So I am going to start with greens. I really don't like to color, and I would never choose a detailed floral stamp that I would need to color with all sorts of colors. But when it comes to stenciling and adding colors with a blending brush, it's so easy to do. And the stencil itself kind of gives you the a little bit of shading just by the sides of the stencil, I guess, if you know. So easy to do, and it makes gorgeous cards. So I have mine also numbered just because I have a hard time seeing them, but it is on this, right on the stencil. And we're going to line up the corners, but also those boxes on the sides there. So we're lining up the corners and the boxes. And keeping it down with a little bit of painter's tape or washi tape. And the second color is going to be a peach. So we would continue. The third one would be the yellow, and then the fourth one would be a teal. And as you can see, you use those boxes and the corners to line each one up. And then when we are done, you cut it into thirds. Again, I've used some mini Slimline dies from Cat Scrappiness. You don't need them, but they just add a nice little bit of interest. In this case, I've added a little border and raised them after cutting out it in thirds there. And then we have another thinking of you. Very easy. Added a few gems, layered it on some peach. And here's a pretty thank you. And each one of these, when you're done, you cut into to thirds and make 3 mini Slimline cards. Of course, you don't have to have layering stencils or even plastic stencils to double or triple up your stencil fun on a card. I just received some brass stencils from Sweet Poppy Stencils at DeBello's Designs here in the United States. Sweet Poppy has gorgeous brass stencils, and I took this spring, I think, Princess Bride, and I combined it with another stencil in the background and made this beautiful wedding card. And then I simply had an oval stencil and then stenciled the bride over that and added the word forever for another beautiful wedding card. And then this one is one I just couldn't resist. It's called Absolutely Abstract. I could see making all sorts of cards with that, and I did make this one, and I added a fern stencil on top of it and dropped some liquids on there to make a kind of a mixed media type look. So again, you can look at your stencils. You don't have to have layering stencils. Just put a couple together and create all sorts of new looks with them. My absolute favorite of all my new layered stencils is this layered mixed butterfly stencil set from A Colorful Life Designs. So you get 3 pieces. You get the background butterfly, you get the floral butterfly, and then this is a mask. And that mask can come in real handy. The first one that I quickly did was just stenciling the butterfly, the 2 pieces, and then I wanted to add some more butterflies in the background, so I masked the butterfly off and then used another stencil to add some more butterflies floating in the background there, and then put a stamp, "Let's Celebrate You," on there. So very quick and easy to do, but really, really pretty with this brand new stencil. And what we're going to try on camera here for a demonstration is I started with a white card base, and I embossed it with an older embossing folder from Cuttlebug. It was an Anna Griffin. I knew I wanted a bigger one, and I love to do stenciling on top of embossing. The look is really fun. So we're gonna do that. This one here has some real delicate pieces, so I sprayed the back of that with some Pixie spray, and that will hold that in place. First I'm just going to apply some temporary tape to the back of that, and then I'm going to take this stencil and put it at an angle and press it down, and then I'm going to use some masking tape to attach it because I want to cover up all the parts of the card that I don't want to get any ink on, and I'm also attaching the stencil with that. So this is just masking tape from Post-it notes, I think. And I use them and use them until they no longer stick. So I am going to combine a aqua blue from Tailored Expressions. It's called Blue Raspberry, with a pink from Gina K Designs. And this ink, when you combine the aqua blue and the pink, you get like a purple. So it's kind of fun to blend with those 2 colors together. I know I want the center to be rather bright because that's the body. And then in this case, I'm going to go around the edge. Without really picking up any more ink, I just want to add a little blue to the edge all the way around with this stencil. And then we have this very pretty one that has the butterflies and the flowers. The key to this is to line this body part up so that body is perfect, and then the rest of it basically will fall into place, and you're going to have a little bit of a border of that first blue that I put down. So now I'm going to add some more of that blue raspberry, but this time I'm going to use a little bit lighter hand that I did in the center, but I still want to get some good color down. When you're using the blending brushes and the embossing and the stencils, it does just kind of do a natural shading, which I think is very cool. A little lighter in some areas, a little darker in others. And then I'm going to put pink on all the flowers. And then go back and add a little bit more of this and a couple of the flowers, and they will kind of turn purple, which is very cool. Combining those two colors to get a third. Now, isn't that pretty? I just love how that turned out. I could put a sentiment, but I think I'm going to hold off because I'm not sure. It could be birthday, but it could be sympathy, could be thinking of you, could be used for all sorts of things. We have that embossing that gets picked up, especially where you put the ink, and then you have those beautiful flowers there with that butterfly stencil. That layering stencil from A Colorful Life Design is just gorgeous, and I love how that turned out, as well as all the double and triple stenciled cards that I made. I hope they've encouraged you to try your stencils in different ways and then send some handmade joy out into the world. For many more stenciled cards and tips, watch the next video coming up, and thanks for your visit today.